Hello YouTube, Eric's Variety Show here. How are we today? I got a suggestion earlier. It wasn't on my last video of what do you guys want to see. It was on, well, it was actually over Facebook. I was talking with my friend Mike YouTuber, or Northern Pride 10. This is his channel name. He's out of Canada. He was talking to me earlier today, and he said, well, the first thing he texted me this morning was, "Oh, you should watch the video I just posted." All right, what is it? Oh, you'll see. Well, I've got like 5 other videos to watch before I get to his, because I have a shitload of subscriptions and I watch them all in order. So I did finally find what it was, and his video is how to drive a manual transmission. And we were talking on Facebook a little earlier today, and he was trying to be a smartass. Oh, how about you teach how to drive an automatic transmission? I got to thinking about it. You know what? If you're like 15, 16 years old, at about the age where you're going to start learning how to drive, and you never paid attention to, you know, how your parents did it as you were growing up. I mean, I know that I watched my parents. I know that Mike watched, you know, his mom and dad drive, and other people drive, you know, because we're the kind of guys that have wanted to drive since we were 2 years old. So, you know, I am just going to give this little instructional video on things you may or may not know if you're about 15, 16 years old, and, you know, you're about to start learning how to drive a car. So, what we are using today, if you've never seen any of my videos before, is I have a 1996 Lincoln Town Car. This is very typical of, this is just a very common setup with a column shifter and, you know, your gear indicator there, that little orange thingy there, that as you go through your different gears, it's just a piece of plastic that slides across, and it's attached to a cable which is attached to your shifter here. One thing that, well, actually I'm going to start from the beginning. So, you've got your key. You stick it in your ignition. You have several positions. I can't remember the name of all of them exactly, but on some of the older cars like this one, you turn it back all the way, and you get your radio and I think your power windows. Yeah. You get your power windows and your radio. And then one turn forward, you can remove the key, and the steering wheel can be locked. And I will get on to later in the video the benefits of locking your steering wheel. Now, when your steering wheel is locked, excuse the garbage. Hope you can see that. When your steering wheel is locked, it's hard to turn the key. So what you do is you turn it a little bit, and then you can turn your key. Now, you get the position you can remove it in. This is the run position. And when you start your car, you'll start it. Actually, it's not the run position, but this is the run position. You start your car, and when you start your car, you turn your key forward, and then it returns to the run position. And this allows you to run your climate controls, your radio, your clock shows up, and in this case, this car has a digital dashboard cluster, and you might think, wow, this looks really cool. Honestly, I do not recommend these. And the reason why is, if you've got the sun shining just right, it makes it absolutely impossible to see anything on the screen. Whereas if you have regular, if you have a regular gauge cluster where you've got the needles that go across to show you your speed limit and stuff, you can at least kind of see the needle and have an idea of how fast you're going, as opposed to when the sun is in the right position and completely glares out the screen. So, what you want to do is you want to have your seat adjusted. You want to have your seat adjusted so that when you have your right foot on the floor, you can go from your gas pedal to your brake pedal without having to move your entire foot. This makes it a lot easier to react quickly if you need to. Some people drive with 2 feet in an automatic transmission, and they'll use this foot for gas, this foot for brake, and they'll tend to keep their foot hovered over the brake. What tends to happen is sometimes they'll rest their foot on the brake pedal, and while the lights in the back won't light up, it will create just the slightest amount of drag on your brakes, which lowers your fuel economy, and it wears out your brakes faster because you're riding the brakes all the time. So I highly recommend this method here, where you just roll your foot from one pedal to the next. Now, your headlight switch on a lot of newer cars today, it's actually right here, and you turn this part of your branch forward, and that'll turn on your lights. And it's like I think on Chevys it's like automatic parking lights, headlights, and in the Chevys or any GM product, there's I think it looks kind of like a bubble that'll sit like right in the middle of your dashboard, and I do believe that those are your sensors for the automatic headlights. So if you start going through the shade, your lights will come on automatically and stuff. I don't like those because it encourages you to get sloppy. I prefer something like this where you've got an actual switch to turn. This car is equipped with automatic headlights as well. I'm not sure where the sensor is on this one. It might be right here, because I don't know what this is. But I prefer to just turn them on, and I be in control of it as opposed to somebody else, or as opposed to the machine, because things can always go wrong on automobiles. So now, when driving at night, as you can see, hopefully I've got the brightness up all the way on this display. You do not want that, because it does, and you can even experiment with it. Generally, cars have a slider switch, or sometimes if you have a knob for your headlights, part of the knob is an adjustment for the brightness of your cluster. You don't want it all the way bright, and I very much encourage you to experiment with this in a safe location. But if it's all the way bright, it puts a lot of fatigue, a lot of strain on your eyes, and it dampens your ability to see the road clearly. I mean, it's now right here and now it's daylight, and it's safe for me to experiment with showing you this and whatnot. So I recommend you just be safe. That's the most important thing here, is to be safe. Now, your mirror adjustments. What I See, I used to hate my side mirrors. I used to think they always get in the way, and I just wanted to get rid of them. But now I find them to be very helpful because I've figured out how to use them. What I do is I get my seat in a comfortable position where I can roll my foot from one pedal to the other, and then I adjust my mirrors from a comfortable sitting position. As you can see in this mirror, there's the line of the parking space, and then right at the tip of my finger there's the area, and you can even see the line a little bit of the other side of the parking space that's over that way behind me. I have these mirrors adjusted so that when I am driving down the road, I can see in the breakdown lane over there, and I can see in the lane of the traffic that's supposed to be coming this way over here. And that is so that I can pass safely and see what's in my mirrors. Now, you may still have to turn your head and look. It's always a good idea to turn your head and look, because I find sometimes that these mirrors don't catch everything. However, this is the setup that works for me and is a pretty good way of being able to judge how far away somebody is, or if somebody's in my blind spots. So this works very well for me, and it's something that I do recommend. As for these rear view mirrors here, this car has as you can see, a little sensor right there, and that's supposed to sense the amount of light that's coming in through your back window. And what that does is it is supposed to automatically dim the mirror and make it look like this. This one is stuck on being dim. This one and this one no longer work. And it all was being fed from this sensor. Excuse me. What I personally prefer is, and I don't know what the switch is for, but on generally older cars or cheaper cars, there's a like a little switch that you flip down or up, and it changes the angle of the mirror to where you can still see if there's something behind you, but it's indirectly in the mirror, and it's reflecting the light back into your eyes, which can be very blinding, just like having the gauge cluster too bright. Now, as you can see over there, maybe, objects in mirror are closer than they appear. This one, it doesn't say it. I think this one is magnified and this one is demagnified. Oh, I think someone's coming to either play with their dogs or learn how to drive. Anyways, I'm just going to ignore them. So, when you first get into your car, you want to start it. You want to set your climate controls to where you want them to be at. You want to put in your favorite CD or tune in your favorite radio station. That way later on, as you're driving, you're not having all these distractions. You've got your shift lever here. Most cars, after, I'm not sure what year, but I think sometime in the 1980s, most cars, you have to set your foot, or maybe it's 1990s, you have to set your foot on the brake, and then, if you want to go backwards, you pull this towards you, pull your shift lever towards you, and you slide it into reverse. And this will allow your backup lights to come on, and your car has the gears synchronized in the transmission for the reverse gear, and then you can proceed to back your car up. Now, neutral is when your car isn't in any gear at all. See, park is actually a gear. It's where your transmission is synchronized to not allow your car to move. Now, you've got, this is special here. You've got a D, a little black D inside of a white O. And that stands for overdrive. That's not something that you, as learning how to drive, need to worry about right now. You just need to learn how to drive, how to park, how to stay in your lane management, rules of the road. But as for what this video is about specifically is you know, basically just getting the car to move, not looking and feeling like an idiot when you go to you know, have somebody teach you how to drive. You can, you know, you'll know how to set your foot on the brake, pull your gear selector towards you and down into drive, into 2, or into 1. 2 and 1 you don't use very much. Generally you use just park, reverse, and drive. You can go entire trips, and you will go entire trips without using 2 and 1. In some cars, like I know the full-size Chevys, they have park, reverse, neutral, drive, overdrive, all in 1, 3, 2, 1. My Crown Victoria was the same thing. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, 2, 1. Yeah, where was I? Oh, you want to make sure you're... This here, this little symbol is for your coolant temperature. And you always want that to be in the normal range. You don't want it hot and you don't want it too cold. If you have it too cold, that indicates that there may be a problem with your cooling system. If you have it too hot, that indicates that there is a problem with your cooling system. And you should not drive with your engine hot, because it will crack the block and cost thousands and thousands of dollars to repair and ruin the car. You've got your speedometer here. You always want to make sure that this is accurate, as well as working. This here is your odometer. This tells you how many miles are on the car. And in the case of this car, my trip odometer, I have 2 of them, and they are off to the side. But generally, it's just like a button that you push down, and you know, it'll come up on a different screen, and it'll show like you know, 40 miles or whatever. I think you hold it down, it switches over, and then you push it again to reset it. And you know, then you clock your trip, and then yeah. But this is supposed to be focusing more on the basics, so I am getting a bit distracted. These buttons here are for your cruise control, and I don't recommend that you learn how to use these when you're learning how to drive, because you need to be paying attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it, and and all that. And the cruise control doesn't work on this car anyways, so yeah. So you set your foot on the brake, you put the car into drive, and you gently give it gas. You watch your speed. When you need to stop, you step on the brake, and it's as easy as that. This is Eric's Variety Show, signing out.